Hey, we're underneath a 2019 6.4 Dodge 2500 HD. This one's a power wagon. I'm going to take and start the factory clamp. This is one of the reasons, again, we don't clamp. Never got tightened at the factory, so it's been rolling around. You can see right here where this has been beaten on the heat shield. This truck has 25,000 miles on it, but it looks like it's been spending most of its life drooped down like a kickstand. So for ease for removal, I'm going to cut it right here. When I pop it out of the rear hanger, it'll slide right out. And then I'm going to cut it up here. Cut it in front of the muffler, right in front of the muffler. Here's another clamp. And then we're going to go all the way up to the front where the factory wires it together, where the two cats are, and it wires into a single. We're going to take and cut it right here in front of this flange. So we have a nice clean surface to weld to. So let me get started here. We're going to cut her down. On this power wagon, they have 3 drag bars underneath the chassis, 13 millimeter. I'm going to zip them out of the way so it gives us more access. And I'm keeping them in order. They do have an arrow that points to the front so you know what direction they go. But we're cutting this down. This is all I use is just a plain old regular Sawzall with a bimetal blade in it. 14 tooth per inch, because we cut down hundreds and hundreds of exhaust systems. But it's nothing trick. Just a Sawzall. That way you get a nice clean straight cut. Now that I've Sawzalled it off in the 3 sections, Dodge has a unique feature. They have a ground strap all the way up here on the top, and it just pops off. We'll put it back on the new hangers. You just pop this off and it just dangles there. It's grounded to the chassis. Then we simply just use WD-40. I lube all the factory hangers. And it makes it easy so they can just pop out with a little force. And we're going to reuse all the factory hangers on this right hand side of the truck, so we don't want to take them off the chassis. We can just take them off the muffler. Pops out just like that, just simple as can be. We got our pulse chamber set up here in position. It slides inside the head pipe, and we put 3 spot welds on it. Get it nice and level and straight with the chassis. And then we got our first head pipe installed, our exhaust pipe. If you look on the instruction sheet for this Dodge, we give you a dimension from the rear end housing to the pipe, 37 inches, excuse me. So from the rear end housing to the front, I made my mark 37 inches, so I'm going to take it back down and cut it. And the reason we do that, we give you lots of pipe. So if it's a long bed, short bed, 4-door, 3-door, I don't care what it is, but we always give you a little adjustment. And once we cut it here, then we put our mufflers up in position, and then we'll give you the second dimension. After I got everything set to length, I always put my offsets to the rear. Dodge ran it through this notch. We just turned it around after we set our length. Always want to make sure on a Dodge, see this big pack of wires here on the side? I don't know why they did that. But we made sure we had good hand clearance between there. I got it all welded up. We're setting the right hand tailpipe because I set it in there, and now I'm just going to trim it off a little bit to fit my tip where I like it. So I'm trimming it down. I marked it off so I can get my tip set up in position. Clip the right hand tailpipe up. Dodge, you got to go over the lead. You got to wiggle a little bit. Not the sway bar. Now when you set this side in position, I always take and put a stand underneath it, level it, make sure your distances are good on everything. Let's see. On the left rear hanger, we give you an extra hanger in the kit. I cut the tab off. I pre-drilled a hole up in my chassis, 1/4 inch, because I don't like pushing on the bolt that hard. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna mount what I call an 07 hanger. The reason I call it an 07, in 2007 I started using these on the trucks. We're just gonna simply bolt it up in position. And I did all this before I put my tailpipe on. And then we're going to take and we're going to sling our tailpipe up here into our axle pipe. Make sure we get positioned everything where we want it, approximately, because I already put the axle pipe up over the rear differential on this Dodge. And yes, you got to sashay around, miss the 4th shock, 5th shock, everything. I had this all up in position, made sure my heights, my angles were the same, spot welded at the muffler. I'm going to get this all set, and then we're just simply going to attach this hanger to the side of the pipe. We're going to set this tailpipe, put it up in position. Kinzer's looking from the back. And you think this corner is lower than this corner?
Yep, about 1 inch, ½ inch.
So I'm going to go trim this off. The reason I leave these a little bit long is because if you want your tailpipe, you know, here, you have some adjustment. On this one, I like them up nice and tight to everything, so the mud flap protects the tip so I don't beat all the paint and chrome to death. So let me go trim off about, how much you want?
½ inch.
½ inch, I'll be right back. We got this truck completed. We're gonna go a quick overview. We measured the tips, we slid them on. Because there was excess pipe, I cut them back till I positioned. Some guys like them long, some guys like them short, so we give you extra pipe. Factory hangers on the right hand side, so we put it in there. And I put an 09 update on it, so they both sides match. On the driver's side, left side, drilled, tap, put the bolt in. 07 hanger, 09 update, so they both match. Weld over axle pipe. We fit everything as we go. Over here, 2 hangers provided, long one on the outside, short one on the inside. Reinstalled the ground wire from Dodge, so it's grounded back to the chassis. Double check our gap, because Dodge has all these pipes underneath, or all these wiring underneath. And then our offsets, the other hanger back in the factory hole, and all the way back up to our pulse chamber. We paint all of our joints. I put the traction bar back on, or the skid plate bars back on it, because this is a power wagon. But we provide lots of clearance for the shock and all the wiring. And there's a complete overview. This is the same truck that we ran stock. We had about 68 decibels. We're again 70 miles an hour down the highway with a catback system on it, super turbos. Dude, it didn't gain any noise in the cab, but you barely touch the throttle now. She gets up and hauls mail like the Hemi should.